So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Robert if this is your first time tuning in. In today's video, we're going to talk about the mentality or the mindset of poor versus rich, or possibly even wealthy. So stay tuned. For those of you guys who are interested, I am going to be referencing my business, which is a Airbnb glamping site, in the video probably quite frequently. I will leave it down below in the description for anyone who wants to check it out or stay with us. Very unique. We were just featured in top 13 places to visit in Texas by the Houston Chronicle. So yeah, very blessed, very humble to be a part of that. But yeah, it'll be linked down below. Just wanted to say all glory to God for allowing us to get this far. Nothing could have been possible without Him giving me the strength and the ability and the people around me to help build this. So just wanted to mention that. All right, guys, so to go ahead and hop into this video, what I'm going to be talking about is the mindset between people who think they're rich versus people who are actually rich or wealthy. There is a difference between rich and wealthy, but for this video, we're not going to go into that. We're just going to talk about the discrepancy between people who think they are rich versus the people who are actually rich. This is coming about because with the Airbnb business, you have a lot of different people that come and check in, check out with your properties. I have this property, I have another property, and before this, I even had another business. And it was the same occurrence that always happened without any business. It's just the same type of people. And again, there's exceptions to every rule, and this doesn't apply to everybody that fits into those categories. There's always some people that stand out in those categories. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to talk about it in this way. But yeah, so most recently we had a guest that was, I guess 2 guests actually. We've hosted over 200 people, 200 parties at this time through our direct booking website and through our Airbnb website and VRBO. But one of the most common occurrences is that people who are maybe not really rich, but they try to act rich, are some of the most rudest people. And it's weird because they feel like they are the most entitled to be waiting on them hand and foot, versus people who are actually rich. And we know this because people will tag us on Instagram. People, the real rich people, they'll actually tag us on Instagram, or they will DM us, or they'll leave us on our little message boxes through our direct booking website. They'll talk to us and communicate with us. They're very friendly people, honestly. Like, for whatever reason, those people are the most friendliest from my experience. Also, whenever we come out here, because we have 5 glamping sites, when we come out here and just check on things before another guest comes in, sometimes that guest is from another suite is still here. So we end up making short talk, and we end up talking, we get along great. Come to find out, they are either multimillionaires, millionaires, or very wealthy people. Again, so they're very, very friendly people. But the people who are trying to act rich, but actually aren't rich, are the rudest. Not again, this isn't for all of them. This is just a handful, very, very small handful of them, are the rudest people, though. And they act like they quote unquote have money, whenever I know people who actually really do have money that do not act like that. And then they'll act like something isn't up to standard or up to par for them. And this isn't just for the Airbnb business. This is for other businesses that I've owned as well. So I just think it's interesting and it's fascinating to me how people think. People who actually have the wealth, have the money, are genuinely some of the nicest people I've met. And I'll talk about friends as well. I have friends on both ends of the spectrum as well, and I'll mention that here shortly. But those people who actually have the money praise, like, personally, my businesses, like some of my businesses, they'd be like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is the best place we ever stayed at. I mean, really, really good high reviews, really good high compliments, versus people who, again, and these people have, I haven't been to these people's homes, but I'm pretty sure they have very, very nice homes. And just from like the vehicles they drive, $200,000 vehicles. They're doing pretty well for themselves, right? And they say this is amazing, this is beautiful, but yet people who are driving your regular vehicle, $70,000, $60,000 vehicle, Again, this isn't really pertaining to the vehicle, but just for reference point, I guess. Those people who act like they have money are some of the rudest, and I couldn't really understand why, and I've come to a couple of different conclusions as to why. I want to hear your guys' take on this. Why do you think it is that people who don't actually have real money, quote unquote real money, act like they have money, and they're some of the more rudest or more entitled people, versus people who actually have real money or real wealth are some of the nicest and actually not entitled at all? Again, I have a couple theories on that, and I'll touch on that later. So definitely stay tuned for that. Now, again, some of you guys may be asking, well, how do you know these people that are acting like that don't have money? Well, because they like to brag. So like most of them, again, Airbnb doesn't offer this, but some of the other ones do offer this, which is through our direct booking. You can leave us a message. Well, on the message, they'll sign, director of something, which is, it's usually about 150, 200, 100 to 100, can't even talk, $100 to $200,000 paying job, which is okay. It's good. It's not great, but it's okay. But yet again, it is still a W-2 job, right? And you're definitely not a millionaire in that stage, most likely, right? I feel like I'm able to gauge people pretty well when I meet them in person as well. And just by the conversation and how they present themselves, you can tell versus, who's genuinely a nice person or who's genuinely not an entitled person versus somebody who is. And again, it's just through conversation or through them signing who they are or what they do at their business. Again, it's not important for booking a place with us. Like, we don't care what you do, what your job is. You could be a janitor for all we care. But yeah, people will sign who they are, what they are on their messages. Again, they all have to do is just sign their name. They don't have to put director so-and-so of whatever. But those people feel like they need to. And that's because I think that maybe they're just lacking something. They feel like they're lacking that respect that they should deserve or something like that. I'm not really sure. But versus the other people who will send us messages who actually have real money, they don't sign, multi-millionaire or owner of 4 or 5 businesses. They don't do that. They just sign their name, and you don't know until you either meet them or through conversation, back and forth messages. Something sparked the conversation that led the conversation in this direction, and then you find out that, oh, they have a freaking private plane or, random things like that. So now, stepping outside of the business, I have friends that are locked up in prison, federal prison, for the rest of their lives. I have friends who are, a little bit above that, maybe not in prison, but they're maybe not doing so hot in life either. And then I have friends on the other end of the spectrum who have private planes, who have multiple businesses, who are millionaires. And then I have a large majority of my friends are in that middle range, right? And what I found also, just by looking at social media posts that they post, also just speaking with them, obviously I try to hang out more with this side. I like to hang out with people who are better than me, at least in the business world, so that way I can learn, right? You can always learn things from the opposite side as well, things not to do, right? But anyways, I have always found that people on this end of the spectrum, who maybe don't have as much money as these people, act like they have more money than these people, even though they don't. But they act like they have more than this, and they wear all the designer this, they wear all the designer that, versus this person over here maybe just wear a $5 t-shirt from Walmart. Again, and it goes back to, I guess, how they feel on the inside. They feel like they have something to prove to everybody else, versus these people on this side who actually have the money. They don't have to prove nothing to nobody. They know what they've done. Why do they have to show it and flaunt it, right? Again, there's exceptions to every rule. I'm sure there are some very, very wealthy people who love to flaunt that. But for the majority of people that I have personally met, they fit in these categories. And it's interesting to me, and that's why I want to hear your guys' thoughts on why is it that people who don't actually have real money act like they have real money and are a little meaner or ruder versus, or more entitled as well, versus people who do actually have real money and real wealth. Now, my conclusion as to what I think maybe is possibly one of the reasons why there is such a discrepancy in the mindset of these two individuals. My reasoning is that millionaires are very wealthy people. They know the struggles. Yes, this person also may have came from nothing and made $100,000 in a job. Sure, that's good, that's great. But this same person that's a millionaire probably came from nothing as well. But now they have millions of dollars. More than likely through a business, right? Most millionaires are business owners or investors. So this person over here knows the struggle a lot more than the person making $100,000 from a job. It's a lot harder. There's a lot more of a roller coaster ride becoming an entrepreneur and becoming a millionaire, a self-made millionaire. There's so many more ups and downs. You get humbled so many times. And I'm speaking for personal experience as well. I've been humbled many, many times. So I understand the struggle as well. I'm not in this category like some of my friends. Like I said, some have private jets. I don't have a private jet. But they understand the value of people's time, the value of people's money, and just the value of what it takes to do what people do. I mean, they just value and understand everything that it takes to put forth the effort of whatever business they're going to or whatever they're going to do. They understand that. I think that's the difference between people who make $100,000 and people who make $1 million, and being, a little more rude versus being so friendly and so easy to get along with. I think that's why, because again, for somebody who just goes into a job and makes $100K, it's not bad. Yeah, it's probably a little bit of a struggle, right? But you're pretty comfortable, right? You make $100K, most people are fine and they live fine and dandy like that for the rest of their lives. But for people who want more, you just experience so much more in life, and you get humbled so many times that you have to respect everybody, because you never know who or what is your next big opportunity. You don't know who you are talking to. And there's just so many people along the way that help you that you maybe didn't even expect. Like, it could have been the janitor that comes and helps you out for whatever reason. Maybe the janitor knows something that you don't. And that's how I think most people in that category look at life, as they don't know who's going to be the person that helps them out the next time. You never know. So to quickly touch on the entitlement portion of that, one of the things I can quickly think about as far as entitlement is people who are on this side who actually have money. They're not entitled, and there's a reason for that. It's because they had to work so damn hard just to get to that point where they are in their lives, that they know it takes hard work. They're not entitled to anything. They know it's, life's not easy. If you want something, you're going to have to work for it. Versus people who are maybe on the other end of the spectrum, especially, a lot of these stimulus checks probably even promoted more of this stuff, but that increased the entitlement. The entitlement that they have gotten to a certain place in their life, so now they're entitled to this, which you're never entitled to anything in life. That's my personal take on it. You're never entitled to anything. Everything requires work, and that's how I feel about it. And I feel like I can relate more to these people on this side because they understand that. They understand that, you're not entitled to everything. But these people on this side just don't know, and that, again, this isn't for everybody. It's just certain people who stick out, outliers that are in that group stick out, and they feel like they're entitled to certain things. And it's because they just haven't reached a certain place in their lives where they can understand work or what is required for attaining a certain or specific goal or title or whatever. Well, guys, that was pretty much my video for the day, my thought of the day that I wanted to put in video form and get some of you guys' feedback from that. What do you guys think is the difference between those two individuals' mindsets, I just think it's very fascinating, very interesting to kind of understand why people act like that, why people think like that. But yeah, because personally for me, I don't care who you are. Like, you could, like I said, clean toilets, you could work at McDonald's, you could be the president of the United States. You're going to get the same respect from me regardless. Like, as long as you respect me, I'll respect you. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do. I don't care how much money you have. You're still going to get the same respect as long as you respect me as well. So at the end of the day, signing your title, director of this, that's the one that stood out the most to me because it was the rudest one that I've received. But yeah, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me what your title is. You're still gonna get the same respect, just as long as you respect me as well. But yeah, let me know down in the comments, guys, what you guys think. What do y'all have to say? What have y'all experienced, maybe? Again, this isn't just for my Airbnb business or the real estate business. It's also in other businesses that I own as well. And I just thought it was fascinating and interesting how people who don't have money but act like they have money, or try to persuade people that they do have money, are some of the more rudest and more entitled people, versus people who actually do have money. Farther from that than anything else. But yeah, guys, appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, be careful, be good, take care, and God bless. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.